Do you have bunions? Do you know someone that has bunions? Today we're going to be talking about how bunions develop to begin with and what you can do to remedy the situation. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Annette. I'm a posture specialist, and this channel is dedicating to teaching you what are the true causes behind injury, chronic pain, and poor posture. Did you know that 83% of adults worldwide have some kind of foot disorder? And that out of those 83%, 36% actually have bunions. Our feet share a special connection with our body. They're actually part of how our brain perceives movement. They also happen to connect us with the ground. So we should pay special attention to the way that our feet are behaving, especially if we want to perform at our best and stay injury-free. And certainly bunions is one of those things that our feet may be dysfunctional. While the cause of bunions is largely related to the formation of your arch, there are certainly several predisposing factors that are seen time and time again. For example, hereditary is one of those factors. Although a neuroscientist by the name of Eric Kandel demonstrated that when you give the body information for 3 years, it is actually integrated at the level of your DNA. So did the foot cause the imbalance, or did posture cause the imbalance? These are certainly discussions that can lead to the chicken or egg theory. But when talking about bunions, the progression or the rate of progression of one's bunion can certainly vary. Some bunions can remain stable for many years, while others can worsen quite rapidly. Bunions are also known as hallux valgus, which is basically a result of the misalignment of the big toe, whereas the first metatarsal head shifts its position laterally towards the other 4 toes. Over time, the metatarsophalangeal joint, also known as the MTP joint, starts to protrude and becomes inflamed. This can lead to discomfort, pain, and can have a significant impact on gait and posture. So what causes bunions and how can we fix it? In this video, I'm going to be discussing a 4-step plan to overcome these issues. But first, let's talk about what causes bunions. Number 1, your shoes. When walking, it's absolutely crucial that your foot has the freedom to move naturally and that your toes have the freedom to expand throughout the gait cycle. Unfortunately, most modern shoes are not made to accommodate the natural movement of the foot. The natural spread of the toe is actually essential for us to grip the ground and preserve energy. Boxed shoes prevents this from happening. The big toe ends up being pressed on the other toes and experiences biomechanical discomfort from the non-ergonomic design of the shoe. The problem is that over time, the big toe starts to conform to that shape. And if your feet spend enough time in that position, they're actually going to start to conform to the shape of the shoe. Number 2, limited dorsiflexion. It's important to understand that range of motion of our joints is something that is regulated and governed by our nervous system. So working on a nervous system or a brain-based approach is always going to have a greater impact on range of motion and certainly on our ankle joint. Now, in the terminal phase of the gait cycle, right before the foot lifts off the ground, the ankle dorsiflexes. This is really important because that position enables us to take longer strides, which goes back to energy preservation. Now, the problem with limited dorsiflexion is that it not only affects gait, but it also results in using our arches as a secondary ankle joint, therefore rotating our foot outwards. This is a condition that's known as being duck-footed. Now, when this pattern is activated, every single step that we take puts excessive loading and strain on our big toe. We cover ankle mobility in our foot mechanics and gait cycle in much greater detail, where we show you how to test to see if you have an asymmetry with your feet and if your feet are actually affecting your lower body, your body mechanics, and how to overcome foot imbalances that lead to partial asymmetries. We've also included a variety of mobility drills to attack any kind of restriction of this type of condition. Number 3 are flat feet. In a normal foot, the loading pattern and the development of the arch keeps the big toes pushed towards each other. This helps us maintain proper alignment from the midfoot all the way to the tip of the toes. However, when the midfoot collapses and when the arch changes to a concave shape, the big toes are loaded in a way that pushes them apart from each other onto a misaligned shape, which is what causes the hallux valgus. I've done many previous videos about the causes of flat feet, and I'll put a link in the description below. All right, so now that we've covered the three main problems, let's talk about the plan to resolve these issues and hopefully improve the misalignment of your feet. Solution number one, wear appropriate footwear. Wear shoes that are built to accommodate your foot. Tight and rigid shoes will block sensory input from the ground and will not accommodate the natural movement of your foot and the natural toe spread of your toes. An easy way to test to see if your shoes are too small are simply to place your foot on top of a shoe, and a good shoe should allow you to comfortably fit all of your toes, and you actually should have a little bit of an extra room to accommodate the toes. If you find that your toes are over the shoe, then the shoes that you have may be too small for your feet. Solution number two, work out the muscles of your foot. There are many exercises that can be done to work out the muscles of the foot and to work out your toes. So to work out your toes, place your foot firmly on the ground and try to raise just your toes. Keep your toes lifted, and now extend your big toe and press it all the way down while your other toes are still in the air. The key is to really extend your big toe before pressing it down. Perform this exercise anywhere between 3 to 5 times a day or before workouts. Solution number three, proprioceptive drills. There's actually a lot of evidence that proprioceptive training can yield meaningful improvements in sensory motor functions. Why? Because muscles, joints, and skin send proprioceptive feedback to our nervous system. So using something like a spike ball or mobility training can help you improve ankle proprioception. Perform these exercises 3 to 5 times a day or before any workouts. Number four, frequency. There are tiny mechanoreceptors in the skin of our feet that respond to frequency. And our brain uses this information for better stability in movement. The more stable you are, the less energy you end up wasting. Postural insoles use a 90 Hertz frequency, which helps retrain the brain, retrain faulty movement patterns by providing a constant stimulation to the nervous system. This will then enable you to take longer strides, which is really efficient for preserving energy. So in conclusion, it's really important to understand that the shape of our arch directly influences the movement of our toe, which in turn affects our foot posture, our gait cycle, our spine, and our overall posture.